place that is haunted. Right from the start, dear, built on an acre of sand.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly. And you're listening to
Two Sides in the Truth. Thanks for coming back and joining us again. Our episodes lately have been sporadic.
I kind of think they've always been a little bit sporadic.
We have the best of intentions, y'all. It's just really we have different schedules, and on top of having different schedules, and I do that podcast with Al, so it's like a matter of fitting them into the right days. Anyways, but they've also been a little sporadic lately because I've had a few little health issues.
Yep.
And
Girl,
so
you just can't catch a break.
I cannot. I'm just going to update y'all a little bit. And it's really nothing big. Like, I'm just going to put this out there first. There is nothing major wrong with me. Just a bunch of little things.
It's like a perfect storm.
Yeah, my body's just like, oh, you think you're going to cause pain? Let me show her something else. Let's really fuck with her and let her figure out what's wrong with her. Let's put two problems on each side. And then she can figure out what's wrong with her abdomen.
Which one do you want to tackle first?
Yeah. Well, you got to figure out what all's wrong first.
Yeah,
as soon as you think
good.
you figure it out, it's something else. So basically, and anyone that does not want to hear about menopause, this is your warning that the next 5 minutes is going to be about
Go
menopause.
ahead and hit that skip forward button.
There will be conversations of blood. Okay. And so just prepare yourselves. Anyways, if it's Rick heard me listening to the podcast. I always listen. Mainly because I talk so much, I forget what I said on the podcast compared to just conversation. So I like to remind myself.
Yeah, smart.
And I have no memory. And so I was listening, and Rick, I was talking about my health on the last podcast, and that's the only part he heard. He goes, why the fuck are you talking about your health? Nobody gives a shit about that. They don't want to hear that business. Why are you putting all your business out there? I was like, because it's women problems. Like, I'm helping other women. Like, no one told me. Someone should have told a bitch.
I'm very happy that you've informed me of this horrible situation that is to come. Because
yes, rip all that shit out if you're given the opportunity. And so basically, the last few years, as you've listened to the podcast, I've dealt with perimenopause, and which is pre-menopause. I don't know when it officially becomes menopause. I think when you stop having periods. I don't know, but I am currently in the part of it where some periods look like I murdered a man between my legs. Like, it is horrible. It is horrible. It is like you can't function. You can't do shit. Mm-hmm. And it's not every one of them, but it's enough of them. It's a problem. I've had to call out for work because I literally I'd have to spend the whole day in the bathroom. It's just ridiculous. I've gone to the hospital for it. We've been trying to figure out what the hell the problem is. I was like, this is going to be more than menopause. Come on,
I have to
y'all.
be dying.
Yeah, and how am I still alive? I don't know.
I don't know how we have that much blood that we can just get rid of.
I don't know either. But I will say that a number of my close friends are going through it at the same time as me. So apparently it is somewhat normal. And why did no one warn us? Like, when you hear about menopause, you're like, okay, hot flashes. Yep, heard about that.
I have to say that's the only thing I've ever heard is
mood swings, hot flashes.
Hot flashes and mood swings. And
you know why I think that is? Because that affects the men in our lives.
True.
So the men in our lives are like, oh my God, it's freezing in the bedroom. Or she's doing this, I'm trying to sleep.
Oh my gosh, she has her hot flash.
She's burning up. Just touching her is burning up. She don't want to have sex,
So moody.
Yeah, she's so moody. Okay. No one said you're going to bleed so much that you think you're going to bleed out. Like, it's horrible. And so, I started having that problem a few years ago. Periods were still regular, just regularly horrible and unfunctionable. And so I went through that stage. They put me on birth control. I'm sorry, everyone. This is legit it's going to take more than 5 minutes, my medical history. But I want y'all to listen because this is shit no one told me could happen. And it has been expensive and time consuming to get these fucking diagnoses. Like, I felt like nobody was listening to me. Every time I went, they just put it off on menopause. So they put me on birth control so that it would, kind of control the period. So even on birth control, I was having a period like a normal period. Like, it wasn't even like light like it normally would be. Like, when I was in my 20s, it'd be light and it'd be like 2 days. No. It was still 7 days of hell. It just wasn't hell thrown into the abyss of bigger hell, which is where it is now. Hot lava, little fucking chihuahuas biting your ankles. I don't know. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, so they put me on birth control for that, and that did kind of tame it, but they were like, yeah, once you get a little older, we're going to need to take you off of that because it'll stop you from going through menopause. So we need to see where you are, basically. And I agree. I don't really want to be on birth control either. Well, on birth control, I gained like 45, 50 pounds. Easy. Like, you eat, I gain weight. Like it's stupid. I can't even eat very much. I like to cook, but I fill up 2 bites in. I can't eat like a full plate very often. And I just don't even really want to eat. Makes me feel gross. I'm bloated feeling, I guess. So I was like, damn, what is the problem with this weight gain? Like, what? So I got off the birth control because then my blood pressure went up and they wanted to put me on blood pressure medicine and my knee was bothering me. You know, it's just like a chain of events.
Yeah.
So that, that was what I was going through. I kept telling them, I feel like there's more going on. I feel like, can you do something? And I was just given the runaround. So as it got worse, I started having pains on my right-hand side a few months ago. And I was like, I think I have a cyst on my ovary. That's got to be what this is. So I go to the doctor and basically have to beg them to investigate for a cyst. Like they just weren't taking me serious. So they finally do a CT scan on my lower abdomen and they're like, yep, you got a cyst. And, you can have surgery or, you can do this or this, but typically we just wait a little longer. I'm like, I don't want to wait any longer. Rip this shit out. Like, get it out. Get it out. Okay, but we can't do that until you do a few other things. And they keep giving me lists of other doctors I have to see and whatever. So I'm just like, okay, whatever I need to do to get this done. So I've still been spending months. I had an appointment for one of the doctors last Monday. It took me 3 months to get the appointment. So I've been at a standstill dealing with this till I got this appointment done.
Crazy.
But if you've had a temperature or been sick prior to going, you have to cancel your appointment because they're going to have to put me under. And so I got really sick right when we got back from the girls' trip. Like I think I was sick on the girls' trip. And I was like, I thought it was the flu, but then I was like, nope, this is a kidney infection because I've had one other. Also menopause related. My doctor said if you've never had UTIs before that cause kidney infections, chances are your hormones are messing with it and causing it. Awesome. Love it. So I got it a few months ago, got it again, had to cancel that doctor's appointment because I was sick in bed. Like I was in bed Thursday through Monday, basically. And then, so I'm like, okay. So I go back to the doctor and on Monday, the day that I was supposed to go to see the other doctor, I go see my regular doctor. I'm like, I'm still in pain. I still have the pain where my ovary is. I got another pain on my left side, which I think is a kidney infection. Well, my regular doctor wasn't there. I told you also I saw the other doctor. The other doctor was like, nah, here we got this problem too. Hernia. I have a hernia. Okay. So today I go see the doctor and the doctor's like the surgeon for the hernia. So now I have to have surgery on the hernia before I can get a hysterectomy.
Oh my gosh.
So like, again, this is kind of put on, and now I did this to myself. So I'm going to put this out there. I literally have a hernia and a cyst on one side, my right side. And then on my left, I have a kidney infection, which is creating a problem on this side. So like both sides are like competing for who's more in pain.
Oh, you're going to do that. Well, we're going to do this.
Yes. And when I saw the surgeon today and he was, talking to me about it and he felt for it and he was like, yeah, I feel it. Cause I couldn't feel it. And I mean, like physically touch it and feel it or see it. So a lot of hernias you can see. And he was like, yeah, I feel it right here. You definitely have one. It's weird. Most women don't get them right there. It's not very often. We definitely want to take care of this. And he explained to me why and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, and you haven't felt it? I said, I thought it was an ovary. I don't know. It's right by my ovaries. I don't know. I think it is my ovary. I think they're fighting in there. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the ovary tried to bust out and that's what created the hernia because it's actually a little hole I learned today. And so he was laughing at me. He was like, yeah, I understand. So he felt it. And he goes, you don't feel that? I said, you know what? He made me cough while he did it, which I guess is what they do to men. And so when he did that, he was like, you don't feel it? I said, you know what? When I did the cough thing, it does remind me that I do have this weird feeling that I get sometimes down there where it feels like a piece of my insides moved. And I was laying in bed one night with Rick and like literally trying to go to sleep. And I just kind of turned and I was like, oh, I think I just moved something in my body. I just kind of pushed it back.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty sure that was my hernia.
Yeah.
There's your sign. Anyways, so
you have things moving in your body.
Yes.
Go check it out.
Well, then when they tell me I have to have surgery, they're like, it's no big deal. You'll be off work for about a week. It's not a big deal. You'll be in and out of the hospital in one day. I was like, awesome. How long till I can swim?
That's an important question.
They started laughing and I go, particularly in a river or lake, because that's usually where I swim. And they were like, a month at least. And I was like, okay, so we're doing this in the fall. And they started laughing. They were like, are you serious? I was like, yes, I am serious. We're doing this in the fall. This is Texas.
I'm not giving up my summertime.
I was like, I go to the river or I go to the lake every weekend. I'm at one or the other. I'm not giving that up. I would screw my kids out of summer. It'd screw everybody out of summer.
Yeah, that's true.
So in September, I'll be taking a week off and getting surgery. It's going to be awesome. I said, can you just fucking fix me a little tummy tuck while you're at that? Like how, I will say they did put me on hormones. My other doctor put me on hormones that are supposed to help with the weight gain. And it's supposed to help with my hot flashes and the periods being so heavy. Why did they not do this 3 years ago when I first went to them?
I don't even know.
I don't know either.
It's pretty messed up. Like this whole time, you could have done this for me, and no.
Yeah. So that's where we are. I feel like shit. I've decided not to go to my family reunion, which I love going to, because I can't sit in a river all day. Like I can't physically. I don't feel well enough to do it, and the bathrooms are so far away. And if my period decides to show up unannounced, like she's been doing lately, the bitch, I would not. I'd be there like stuck in an RV.
Yeah, no, it would be horrible.
Yeah, so I was like, nah, we're gonna just skip on that one.
Yeah.
So that's my life. So I have nothing to talk about because all I do is lay in bed and cook. We're gonna also next week we'll have a little hiatus from the podcast. So we'll be taking next week off. We're off on Al's also. Basically, Al's shutting down the bar and the recording studio so that he can go on vacation and his staff can enjoy July 4th.
That's
and
awesome.
so we're gonna also take that time to enjoy July 4th and for me to relax.
Yes. So we hope that y'all all enjoy your 4th of July as well.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody do something fun. So, what are your plans?
Well, I have no idea.
You don't?
I'm glad that I'm off work. We get off work. And it's crazy that's right in the middle of the week. It's like on a random.
It's weird.
It's on a Tuesday. We're going up on a Tuesday. So last year I did not spend it with Dante and his kids. I went to Marilee and Robert's party. I think I went there. I might have gone to see my family. I can't remember. I asked Dante what I did last year because I can't remember what I did last year. And so, anyways, but this year I'm going to spend it with him and his kids. And they always they have a family friends that are in Frost that they always do like a big get together with water slides and stuff like that. So
it's a fun day.
Yeah, so I'm planning on going to that with them.
You've become quite the little like house girlfriend. I don't know if you've noticed.
I have, man. And Dante just told me this the other day because he is, like I told y'all, he's scraping the house to repaint it.
Yeah.
And I went out the other day and actually helped him some because, that's just, And I asked him, I was like, why didn't you get a Mexican to do this? And he was like,
you are my Mexican. What are you talking about?
He was like, I asked them, they were going to charge too much, so I'm just going to do it. And so I went out there and I was helping him. And he was like, thanks, babe. I really appreciate it. I was like, well, I try to help out when I can. And he was like, no, you do a really good job because I do a lot of the inside work. I make sure that all the laundry's always done and folded.
Yeah.
I make sure that the dishes are always out of the sink and the dishes are always clean.
You sound like me right now.
So I make sure I don't do a lot, but I do those things that he would have to do that now he doesn't have to do when he gets home because he's just the same way. He wants the laundry to stay going. He wants the dishes to stay done. He, wants the trash.
That's part of maintenance.
And so those are just the things that I do because I have more time at the house than he does. I don't work as crazy hours as he does.
Well, you haven't been going out really or doing a bunch of stuff.
I've been being a little home girlfriend.
Well, and I think also me being a home girlfriend right now and
You've inspired me.
I've been so sick that I have no life either. So between the two of us, we're just not out and about, even for like to the lake and stuff. Like, or even last weekend, Rick went to the lake and I didn't go.
Well, I've been trying to go now that we're in summer and I get off at 3:00. Any days that if we're not recording and the weather's nice, I go out to the lake as soon as I get off work.
Oh yeah.
And I lay out for a little while and I get in and swim for a little bit, just do a little bit of exercise. And so I've tried to go out at least once a week to the lake and get some sun.
Well, I usually go out one time on the weekend with Rick, but we didn't go he went. I didn't. He went fishing. He wanted us to go like as a family, and I was like, I don't know, rest. I'm supposed to be resting. Yeah.
It's good. That's good.
Kidney infection is no joke, y'all. I don't like them. I'm not a fan. I've
never had
stars.
One. And I don't want one for sure.
No stars. To that
0
bitch.
stars.
Yeah, 0 stars.
Do not recommend. 0 out of 10.
We are going to go most likely, I think this is the plan, to Lake Whitney in Hillsborough. And we're going to, I know. And we've done this a few July 4th. I don't think that we even thought about the fact that we were doing those weekends, but that's just what we do for some reason. But we're going to go to Lake Whitney, and we have a little spot on Lake Whitney. We like to go, where the boat ramp is. We like to load the boat up with almost like camping. We'll have a grill, we'll have a canopy, we'll have chairs. and whatever we need, coolers. And then sometimes we have to make 2 trips because we also have people. And we go across the lake, and we have a little cove we have found that we love. And there's only really enough room for 1 boat. We did have one person try to camp with us, and I kind of went Karen mode because they were being dicks. I mean, seriously, like I have autistic kids, so we choose this spot to get away from noise, and they came in, and we had music playing. Not real loud, but I mean loud enough for the camp. And they came in with their speaker on the boat. You know how those boat speakers are? So you couldn't hear our music, but we couldn't talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's in a cove, so it's a small cove.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we did we'll go over there. We'll set up a camp we'll put the canopy in the water and the chairs and the coolers and set up a little camp spot. And there's a cliff, so they can cliff dive into the water right there. And then there's...
Okay, I'm coming too.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really cool. And then we'll bring a watermelon and then stuff to grill. And then he'll take the kids out tubing right in front of me, and I can watch them tubing right in front of me in the lake. And then I stay and either grill or I stay and just sit and watch them to be silly.
Sit and watch.
Yeah, basically.
Love it.
And so that's what we're going to do again. So we're not going to... And I took July 3rd off because July 4th is Tuesday. We're actually going to go Saturday or Sunday, I think, to a lake. But I took July 3rd off so I could have a long weekend. But I have missed so much damn work that I untook it off because I needed to
I was just
save
super
my
really
days.
happy there for a second because I'm off on Wednesday. So I'm like, oh, yeah?
Sorry. But I just wanted to, I need to save that for all this medical stuff I'm using on my vacation. But, at least I have it, I guess. Yeah. But I don't have a lot left. I've used a bunch. I think I get a bunch a year. I get like 5 weeks a year. But I have spent like 2.5 of those weeks on medical issues this year. Yeah. I'm like, boo. Yes.
I always forget about my, because we get so many personal days and then we get so many vacation days and then we get so many just like, different sick days and stuff. So, I always forget about, I really love my job. I like going to it. It's not really a job to me. It's really fun. I would go there probably even if I wasn't getting paid just because I'd be like, oh, I'm bored. I'm going to go play with the kids for a while. Yeah. So I really love going, and I don't really ever get sick very much either. So I don't ever think about using it. But my bosses have been doing really good at reminding me, hey,
you need to take it.
Use some of your time off. And since I've been taking Wednesdays off, they're like, just go in there and plug in a vacation day so that you're still getting paid. And I was like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, duh.
It's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's sad that I gave up my long week. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little sad about it.
I am a little bit too.
But it is. I'm still off Friday, Saturday, and then Tuesday. I'm just not off Monday. But yeah, we'll live. And we don't really party on July 4th because we have to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
I don't really party.
I don't have to
Rick
now,
doesn't
so.
Party.
No.
Yeah, no, he doesn't really party, but the man's retired from partying.
You got to reel it in at some
He did drink yesterday, and he doesn't, he just doesn't drink a lot. And he drank yesterday, and I got home, and he, I guess, had some beers. And he's always just so different when he drinks. And so he's mouthy, which he's either quiet or he's mouthy. There's
one or the other.
There's one or the other. And he starts just going on this like overly honest about feelings and like loud and like, I don't know how to explain him, and trying to explain himself not that great. And his daughter's like, okay, you need to stop talking. And she's like, Dad, did you have a drink? Because he like doesn't drink. And he was like, no. And I was like, yes, you did. You're lying. It's like, oh my Lord. So bless his heart. But
I have a bless your heart story from Dante the other day. I was making a salad and I had an avocado that was if I didn't eat it, it was going to go bad. So I was like, oh, okay.
So it's a Texan. We can't allow that.
I'll just cut it up, put it in my salad. No big deal. So I'm sitting there and he's making his food, which is not a salad. And he always jokes with me. He's like, babe, gosh, you eat so healthy. And I'm over here making a chili cheese dog. And I was like, well,
bless your heart.
Well, so I'm cutting up the avocado and I get the seed out and I throw it away. And he's like, you don't eat the middle part? And I looked at him. I was like,
what?
What? No. He's like, why not? I was like, it's the seed.
Has he never had an avocado?
No, he doesn't eat avocados. I was like, how do you not know that? And that's why he's like, well, I don't eat avocados. I don't know. And I was like, and you've obviously never dated a Mexican either.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't know. And I was like, he's like, I thought it was like the yolk or something. And I was just,
oh my God.
I said, oh my gosh, bless your heart.
No wonder he didn't want to eat it. That would be disgusting if that was yolk. Would you eat an avocado if it had yolk that looked like
Absolutely
that?
not.
Hell
That's
no.
why I was like, just stop talking to me right now. I can't
You know how
even.
people, you may be able to do this. I have friends that can do this. Mary can do this, where you cut an avocado in half, and to remove the seed, they just take the knife and they pop it,
that's
and then
how
they pull
I do
it.
it.
I can't do that. I'm so afraid I'm going to miss and cut myself.
Oh, I have done that. I've missed and cut myself before.
So I don't do it hard
But I still
enough
do it.
to get it out because I'm afraid. I know my skill set. The best way to put that. But it is on my list of things to somehow learn to do. But I can't do it. I'm scared. It's so ridiculous. And I cut a lot of avocados, y'all. I cut a lot of avocado. Oh, and that was what I forgot earlier about the tuberculosis diagnosis. I talked about it last week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't really have seeds. So I go to do Sunday. I'm trying to stay home. I stayed home all day Sunday. I'm like, purposely, you're not going anywhere. You're staying home and you're resting. Mm-hmm. So I go to clean out the fridge to make room for the groceries I'm going to go buy. I have everything I need to make some homemade salsa. And I can't eat any of it.
Oh, man.
I can't eat jalapenos. I can't eat chili peppers.
Oh, my gosh.
I can't eat tomatoes. I can't eat tomatillas. I'm like, I can eat the cilantro. That's it. And the lime. That's it.
They cut out a whole food group for you.
That's like my favorite food group. It's the only healthy shit I
my
like.
favorite food group, too.
I could eat my hot sauce with a spoon. I'm going to still eat it. I'm going to put this out there. It's just not going to happen. I'm just going to try to be moderate. I'm going to moderate it.
We can't quit cold turkey.
I would give up alcohol before I'm going to give up fucking salsa.
Amen, sister. Amen.
I don't know what. I could dip my finger and like lick it. I don't know. So I'm like, I got to make this salsa. I can't let all this shit go to waste. So I'm in there like making salsa, and Rick comes in and he's like, you're not allowed to eat that. I know.
Wrong thing to say right there, buddy.
And then after I made it, he was like, this might be the best salsa you've ever made. Fuck you. There are in life.
I'm so sorry. R.I.P. to your salsa.
I know. And we had an incident with, this is a rabbit hole. I'll make it quick. Rick has his own cabinet at the house, which my son also had when he lived at home, my older son. It's the same cabinet. It's now become Rick's cabinet. Mm-hmm. And the reason that it's like above the pantry, like a little small section above the pantry. And he only puts like 3 or 4 things in there. He puts his cereal in there. He puts his cookies in there. You know, some cracker thing he likes. And the reason he puts it up there is that Zoll will eat one thing, the entire thing in one sitting.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Like, it's not safe. So if he wants those things, though, we'll buy them his own, and he can demolish that one. But then Rick he likes to snack on 1 or 2 cookies a night. That's his little thing.
Dante does the same thing.
Yeah. So, and everybody knows Zoll is going to demolish them. Sometimes lately, but it's way more Zoll. He's a grown boy. He's 16 and a half. You know, he's 6'1". So he goes, but he knows that is not, you don't go in that cabinet.
Off limits.
And it's been the rule since before Rick lived there, when Zane lived there. And Zane was overboard about it, though. But Rick's pretty fair. He'll buy the same thing for you, just, you know. So the other night, we go grocery shopping Sunday. Rick puts his cookies up there, and it's those chocolate cookies. I don't know. My grandma showed always had these in her pantry, and they're like these little graham cracker crust, and then they have like a glob of
like raspberry or strawberry?
No, not the
Or
little
it's
Mexican
chocolate.
ones. No, marshmallow. And then it's covered in a chocolate.
Oh.
You can't even see the marshmallow. It looks like one big piece of chocolate, but it's actually a big poofy
That
marshmallow. on a
sounds
graham cracker.
delicious. It's like a s'mores cookie.
Yeah, and they're only like $2 a box.
Oh, I'm going to have to try this out.
Yeah, they're not bad. HEP. And so he didn't ask for. I always ask them, "Do y'all want? What do y'all want?" They won't tell me anything. Fucking
Of course
teenagers.
not. I'm like,
I'm going to the grocery store. What do you want? And it's summertime, so they're going to need snacks. They're going to need things to eat. You know, what do y'all want? I don't know. Whatever. And then I don't like that. Oh my God. Zol the other day did ask me to heat up his little pizza rolls because he did not know how.
Okay.
Motherfucker. How about you just turn over the box and read?
Yeah. How about?
I said,
it's survival of the fittest.
I said,
time
I
now,
am
okay?
not going to tell you how to do
It's
this.
time to figure it out.
Read it. Anyway, so we buy the cookies. We go to bed Sunday night. We bought them Sunday morning. Go to bed. They're unopened. He didn't open them. Wake up Sunday morning or Monday morning. The cookie container is on the island in the kitchen.
No, he didn't.
There's like 2 cookies left. It's just ripped open like an animal went wild.
Oh my God.
Like he knew when he ripped it open, there was no going back because the way he ripped it open. And we had a little hint of this, like a week and a half ago, we found somebody had eaten some, and then they put it in a Ziploc container when they put it back. I mean, a Ziploc when they put it back in his pantry. So he was like, did you put this in that? And I was like, no. He was like, well, someone did. I don't know who. Nobody would fess up. And the reason is like cereal, Zaylee is a cerealaholic, so she'll go through it all. So we buy her own, and we buy her more because she eats more. He just likes an occasional bowl before bed.
Yeah. Like, gosh, I'm just asking this. You don't.
Yeah,
eat my food.
he's asking for like $7 of food to not be touched. Just so he can have it.
I have to say that would probably really get on my nerves.
Yes, it does. And so on top of that, I also had made like this dessert, and I had used these sugar cookies to make the crust. Mm-hmm. And so I had 3 of these sugar cookies left, and they were red on those ones you get at Walmart with the icing on the top. Yeah. And they were like July 4th flavored. So there were like 3 that I didn't need, so I just left them in the box. So when Rick comes down at like 4 a.m. Monday morning, that one container is demolished, and then the cookies are gone. The 3 red cookies are gone, which is fine. They're welcome to the red cookies. But they left the damn box, the container, just sitting right next to the open box,
Of course.
So Rick's not happy. And it's 4 a.m. He's going to work. It's like, maybe even be 3 a.m. because he's going really early.
I can't imagine what he did when you eat that man's cookie.
Right. And so then I come downstairs an hour later to go to work. And Rick's already left, and he didn't say anything to me. And there's a note. He's written 2 notes. He found a piece of mail, and he wrote on it, to the lazy. To the lazy that ate all my cookies. You just have to ask. I'll buy them for you. Whoever you are, now you get to mow the yard. Like, this isn't cool.
Nice.
But then on the clear container that had the cookies in it, he like wrote another note equal, but you can tell it's escalated. And I was like, he obviously found this one first. But they were right by each other, but he didn't, and I found this out to be the fact. He didn't zone in yet. There were no cookies in that other container. And then went into, he realized they ate those too, but they also didn't throw away the container. It sent the man over the edge.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
So then I wake up Zane for summer school, or Zol for summer school. I'm like, did you eat those cookies? No, I didn't. Okay. I'm going into investigation mode because I'm pissed. That's rude.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had this problem before with a certain child.
And it's not like you don't know. It's not like it's unknown.
Exactly.
Territory.
He's gotten in trouble for the same thing so many times. When are you going to learn, dude? So he goes, nope, he denied it. I'm going to investigate further when I get home. I have to go to work. It's 4 something in the morning. Like, it's not 5. I leave at 5:20. So I go to work. I get to work. I always tell my boss, because that's who I open with, and I know my coworker, they always get the rundown of that morning or the night before. So I'm like, we have the big, great cookie caper going on in the house. Currently, we have 2 suspects. This is a situation. So I run them through it, and they're like going through all the scenarios of things that could have happened.
Yeah.
So then Zaylee calls me when she wakes up, and I'm like, did you eat some cookies last night? Oh, and I moved the notes, so she didn't even see the notes. And I said, did you eat any cookies last night? Yeah, I did. I said, what cookies? I ate one of those red ones. I said, there were 3 of them there. I know. Zoe ate 2 and I ate 1. I said, who ate the first one? She goes, I did. I said, so Zoe didn't throw away the package? That's correct. I said, what about the chocolate ones? How many of those did you eat? She goes, what chocolate ones? It's looking suspicious here. She doesn't know they exist. Mm-hmm. She just got home from camp. Yeah. So she didn't know we had bought them. She had literally just got home from church camp. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm getting more pissed as the day is going on. Zol calls me. I interrogate him again. Still no answer. I update Rick. I'm on this cookie caper.
We are going to find the cookie burglar.
We will figure out who needs to mow the yard. We're going to get this taken care of. So nobody would admit to it. We know who did it, but nobody will admit to it. So it's kind of like, what if you're wrong? Because I got set up many a time by my brother. So, and even Rick was like, "Yeah, I used to set my brother up all the time." Like he goes, "In fact, I wouldn't admit it if I was him either, because I'm scary. I don't blame him." I was like, "Yeah, but it's not cool, So Rick decides when he gets home, he's calmed down. So he's decided he's going to just turn the Well, I thought he just turned the Wi-Fi off because Zol gets home. He needs to do some work from summer school, and that Wi-Fi is not working. He doesn't tell me it wasn't working the night before. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, I don't know what's up. I guess Rick, probably because you ate his cookies, you probably changed the password. Now you got to ask him, And he was like, oh, okay. So Rick gets home. I'm like, hey, he's got homework. He really needs the password so he can do his homework. He goes, I didn't change the password. He goes, I turned it off last night so he wouldn't stay up all night so he'd get up for summer school. So I just turned it off for the night, and I was going to turn it back on this morning. But he figured out it was off, and instead of him taking a hint, he hard reset it. So none of the passwords worked anymore.
Oh, nice.
Like Joel just digging himself a hole.
Oh, yeah.
And so Rick's like, I was like, oh, I was totally blaming you, thinking you overreacted maybe a little bit. No, I didn't do that. So Zaylee comes out. She's like, can I have the Wi-Fi password? Like, as we're talking about it. And I was like, nope, this is because of the cookies. We're trying to figure out the situation. She was like, I did not eat the cookies. I did not eat the cookies. I was like, well, we don't know who ate the cookies. She was like, I didn't even know we had the cookies. I was like, okay. So we give her the password. And every time she gets mad at Rick, she yells at him, you're not my dad. So that is the password. It's got some other things in it too.
I love it.
So
I love it. Oh my god.
I was like, petty. I'm rubbing off on him.
A little bit. Just a little petty.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to fight petty with petty.
Yeah, well, he did he typed in himself the password into Zoel's computer, but wouldn't give it to him, so he can't use his Xbox until he's done with summer school, which is this week. And he obviously has to pass everything. And he was like, I can't make him mow, but I can make him suffer.
Can't take away his Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so that's where he is right now.
I love it.
I mean, you got to do the great cookie caper of 2023, the summer of 2023. And so I went to the store on the way home, and I bought him 2 packages of cookies and put them in there. I was like, there you go. There's your 2 packages of cookies. He was like, thank you very much.
You had to put a padlock on that.
Zane did. That's how bad it is.
Obviously, it's needed.
Obviously, yeah. And then, you know, I know other people, you might because you have teenagers in the home, but, you know, moms and dads of teenagers, summertime, they just eat you out of house and home. Like they're bored. They're just eating to eat, you know. So I'm trying to find things they can heat up themselves because Lord knows this boy can't even microwave fucking pizza pocket things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So I'm trying to get creative, and I'm like mac and cheese, like microwavable ones. You know, ramen. Zaylee likes these noodles. I don't know what they're called. Like I'm going through the store, like pizza pocket things, and like, you know, I'm trying to get creative, give them snacks, but also give them things they can make for lunch. And Zoe will call me at work. Can I have some money for chocolate casa? No, bitch. You can go in the freezer and heat up the microwavable pizzas.
Right.
They're $17 for a box right now. You're going to eat those. You liked those last week. I don't like them anymore.
Well, you better start liking them again.
Son of a bitch. I'm like.
You're going to get hungry enough to where you like them.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I told him. I said, hell no. You're going to eat whatever is in that freezer. That is what you're going to eat. You know? So.
My current headache is that because they love chips. They're a chip eating.
We are not.
Household.
That is one thing we are not.
I'm not big on chips. I'll eat them every now and then. Like if I'm making a sandwich, sometimes I want some chips with my sandwich, but I'm not a really big chip eater, but they love their chips. And the other day there were 3 separate bags of Doritos open. And I was like,
that shit pisses me off.
This is ridiculous. And so like one of them was stale then too. And I was like, these are not cheap. It's like $6 for a bag of Doritos. And you're going to open up and eat half of it, and
you
the
have
other half are
become
gonna
me.
go.
Do you hear yourself?
God.
Do you hear yourself?
Yes, I do.
You have become me,
and you're
scared, aren't you?
And
next thing you know, you're gonna have a man's worth of blood between your legs.
But I do tell myself all the time, like I remind myself to calm down, and like things really aren't that big of a deal. And if it is a big enough deal, Dante will handle it. It's coming out of his pocketbook anyway. So I just try to help him out here and there. And there's another thing, because I'm not one. I don't parent and I don't discipline. But I will inform. I'm an informant.
Okay. You're the informer.
And so I've been driving Dante's Jeep, and Jake, he drives the Jeep sometimes as well because he has his permit. So his dad will let him drive just around town if he's going to his grandma's house or something like that every now and then, he'll let him do that. Well, these were 2 nights in a row that he had gone to get something to eat, like McDonald's. He had left the trash in the Jeep. And I'm like, I hate picking up other people's trash, especially teenage boys. Yeah. Like, I do not want to pick up after you. No. You need to be self-aware enough, have enough respect for your dad's vehicle that you're not trashing it out and leaving stuff in it. That's just respect.
So did you take a picture of it and send it to
Dante?
No,
I didn't. I just threw it away. But one of the times I noticed that when I got in, the seatbelt was buckled. So obviously he buckled the seat because it'll alarm if the seatbelt's not buckled.
Oh,
so he buckled
instead of
it,
buckling
yes.
himself,
He buckled it and sat on top of it and wasn't buckled. And I was like, I don't necessarily like
But that's a safety thing.
And that's what I told Dante.
That is, and as someone who doesn't like people trying to parent my kids,
Yeah.
other than me and my ex-husband,
Yeah.
I applaud that.
Yeah.
That is what you should be. Their safety is a priority.
So the first thing was, and also I had just filled up the Jeep. This Jeep is a gas guzzler. Okay. That's what Jeeps do, especially it's lifted. It has big tires on it. So
Yeah.
it has a lot of gas. So I just filled it up.
He used all your gas.
No, he didn't use it all, but he did. It was the fact that I don't like stopping for gas anyways when I'm going to work or if I'm driving at night. I don't like stopping for gas. It's a big thing. So I made sure it was out of the way. So I was like, okay, I usually have 2 to 3 days before I fill it back up because I don't like it to go under half a tank.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm set until Wednesday and I have Wednesday off. So I'll have time. I can get gas. Boom. It was just in my head. It was my schedule. And it was like a quarter of a tank down.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of actual gas in that
Especially
Jeep.
if you're only driving around town.
Exactly.
So
and
where
so
do you really
that's
drive?
what I messaged. I don't want to be a bitch. And I even told Dante, I was like, I'm sorry if this comes out bitchy. I'm not trying.
Yeah.
I was like, but if your son's going to go around joyriding, you need to tell him he needs to put some gas in the Jeep.
Right.
If you're
be buckled.
Yeah, if you're grown enough to go around joyriding, then you're grown enough to put some gas in the vehicle. I'm sorry, especially when you have it. And
if he only has a permit, he doesn't need to be joyriding.
I know he does, and Dante doesn't let him. That's why. And he had heard from another one of his friends. There's 2 different friends in town that caught him on camera just driving around, and so he really laid into him and told him, he's like, I trust you to do these things, and you're showing me that you can't be trusted and stuff like that. And then after the fact, that was later on that evening when I was talking to him about it, and I was like, and I really don't want, I'm not trying to be a tattleteller here. I was like, but for safety reasons. And I told him about finding
That's important.
I was like, I know, I understand. But really he doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to be joyriding because he can get himself in trouble.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need to be doing that because he can get himself hurt. I was like, the Jeep can be replaced, but he can't.
No. And especially in a Jeep.
I know. So he's like, no, I completely agree. And thank you for telling me. I will address that with them.
That's good co-parenting, first off.
I'm so proud of myself.
You should be. And I have a little co-parenting story because, the kid's stepmom is off for the summer. She's a teacher. And I've needed her help because I've been taking so much time off for being sick. I just can't take any more time off for the kids' stuff.
Yeah.
And Zaylee drained a bunch of my time off. And so they had a therapy appointment and Zaylee needed a ride to church camp and, she's needed a ride a few other places. And her stepmom's been awesome. They don't live around the corner. I mean, it's a 35-minute drive.
Oh, wow.
And, they moved out to Bristol. So it's a hike. And there and back, you're gone from your house for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So she's been doing this every time I ask, and I've been real appreciative of it. And she's done a bunch of other stuff lately. Honestly,
awesome.
She's really been stepping up. And
That's awesome.
She's always been a very nice person. We haven't always got along, as we've discussed, not because we didn't like each other.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But she just really stepped up lately. And so they had therapy the other day, and she got them to therapy, and then she went to get their medicine for them. And I didn't realize she was still working on it. Like normally when they put in their medication, I just don't deal with it till the next day. I just go pick it up the next day. But because she was in town, she was trying to deal with it the same day. So she ended up spending like freaking 4 hours on this.
Wow.
So I finished dinner last night and Rick and I are in the kitchen and he's doing his little drunk ramble because remember he had been drinking.
Yeah.
And we're kind of laughing or whatever. And it's just the 2 of us at this point. The kids have gone in their rooms. It's like 8 something. She knocks on the door. He's like, who? Rick had no idea who it was at the door. Who's that bitch? This is how Rick talks.
Oh yeah, not.
And he doesn't mean it mean. He can't even see what she looks like from the table. He just knows there's someone at the door at 8 o'clock at night, and that's weird.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to handle." I said, "That is the kid's stepmom." Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was like, "Oh my god!" So I go to the door and I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And she tells me what's going on the medicine. She wasn't sure they gave him the right dosage. She wanted me to look into it and da 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 because she felt like they said something different in their appointment. And and one of the medicines they didn't have in stock, so it's going to be a day. And she was like updating me, and it's really hot and mosquitoes are bad. So I was like, come in the house. She came in the house and talked to us for like 10 minutes and laughing and like friendly, like friends.
Yeah.
And our divorce was so contentious. Like, it was a horrible, he immediately met someone and married her, and she was a horrible human being, not the same wife.
Yeah.
If you've kept up with us, that was wife 2. Wife 3 is the current wife. I was 1. So, to have this better relationship with the kid's stepmom is so awesome for the kids.
Yeah.
And for me. But for the kids, like, they love knowing that their stepmom loves them. I love knowing their stepmom loves them. She would do whatever for them. And I even reached out and I was like, hey, I've had a kid every day this summer. Like, I've had one or the other or both every single day. Y'all have had a few. They've taken Zaylee way more than ever. But you're not taking both at the same time. Can you throw a girl a rope? I'd like a break. And she was like, absolutely. Well, just right now, you want to come get them? I was like, yes, I do. And then Zoe was like, no, I'm not leaving. This was last weekend. Well, after the cookie caper, I was like, bitch, you going this weekend.
Bye. Go eat their cookies.
You going. Yeah, you go eat their cookies. And Rick last night was like, I'm going to tells her, I'm going to get him mowing. He's going to start mowing. She's like, oh my God, our new yard is so big. And we just have that little push mower. And it's so hard. It wears me out. And Scott doesn't get home till late. So it's usually me mowing it. Yeah, flashback to when I was married to him. Fuck that shit. I was pregnant mowing. And I haven't mowed in years. I haven't mowed in 20 years.
I haven't mowed since
since I got divorced. Younger. Well, 15 years, 16 years since I got divorced.
I used to help mow when I was younger. It was part of chores, but I haven't since then.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't do it, so I would do it. And so Rick's like, oh, hell no.
Hell no.
Zole's your new mow boy.
Sure is.
I'm going to train him. We got this taken care of. Zole will be mowing this yard going forward.
I'm totally there with you. If you have a teenage boy in the household, the wife should not have to mow.
No. And now he's not in their household. And honestly, he's stopped visiting. Every time it's time to go visit, he doesn't want to go. And it's not that he doesn't like them. It's that they don't have good internet. I'm not kidding. That's the problem. And so boys ain't me out of house and home. I need you to go to your dad's every once in a while so that I can enjoy a cookie. I don't know. Like, boy, go.
You got to go work off that cookie.
Yeah,
cookie
so
debacle.
Yeah. So we did work out a weekend where they're going to take both of them, and I was like, I'll take them both. Y'all want a weekend where you don't have, because lately one or the other has been going, mainly Zaylee, and I was like, y'all want a weekend where there's no kids? I know you got kids coming from her side too.
Yeah,
I'm fair, but they do get Monday through Thursdays on a regular basis with no kids.
Yeah,
but summer school ends tomorrow, so Zoe can go for some weekdays now.
That's good. Wow.
Yeah. That's what part of the reason he hasn't gone either.
You can make it. You can do it.
You can do it. Anyways, I know
you.
all you moms are like, holy shit, they're just talking about my life right now. This is real life. At work, we were talking about, and I've talked about this once before, dishes, and about how kids, they'll just throw them away. So if anyone's ever just lost every spoon in their house,
like where did all the spoons go?
Spoons are the number one thing.
Well, actually, our house is forks. I just noticed the other day. I was like,
you must not have cerealholics.
No, I mean a box of cereal lasts forever with them. Every now and then they'll eat them, but it's really only Peyton that eats cereal, and every now and then Dante will eat a bowl. It's not that. So it's forks. I was like, we have like 5 forks and 27 spoons. I'm like, what happened? Where are the forks at?
I told you my kid threw away a ton of Fiesta ware. I'm talking hundreds of dollars worth of stuff because he didn't want to get caught taking it back to the kitchen. He smuggled it in his room, and he didn't think he could get away with it twice and get it back to the kitchen without me wondering
where it was.
Yeah. And so he instead decided to throw them away. Same kid as the cookie caper. Bless his heart. He was little.
Your heart. I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this, because there's no way that I would be able to make it out alive, or
he was
then
pretty
make it out
young
alive.
when that happened. He was 8 or 9, and you have to remember he's also autistic and has a few other issues, ADHD, whatever. So everything is a teaching. Nothing's ever going to absorb the first time I tell him,
or the second,
or the
17th.
And it doesn't matter how crazy I get, because I will turn into freaking Linda Blair.
Yeah,
and my
your
head will
reaction makes no difference in that kind of situation. So you can be like super nice and super like gentle parenting, or you can be like Hellraiser, and it's not going to make any difference in their absorption of it. It doesn't matter.
No, I just have to be consistent.
Yeah.
I can't let it slide ever. And like I've told Zoe that before. I was like, listen, I am getting tired of being a bitch, dude. Can we stop fucking up? Like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it because I don't like this person you make me be. Like, I don't want to be this person.
Yeah.
I'm tired of getting on to you. I'm tired of every time I see you, I have to correct you. Like, it's sucks for me as your mom. I want to enjoy our company. I want to have a fun time. You're a great kid. You're real smart. You're real, but don't lie to me. Don't throw away my dishes.
Don't eat all the cookies.
Don't eat all the cookies. You know what? Every single person that I tell this story to starts quoting Bernie Mac in his voice. Do you remember Bernie Mac?
Yeah.
Black comedian that passed away maybe 10 years ago. Real funny guy.
Yeah.
And he did a whole bit on milk and cookies where his nephew or niece like wanted some milk and cookies. And everybody that's Gen X that I tell the story to is like milk and cookies. Everyone. I'm like, Bernie Mac, man, he left his impression.
He sure did.
And every one of them's been white people, so it's even funnier. Like, the man crossed all boundaries, which is awesome. Okay, so Kelly, tell us about these emails.
Oh my gosh.
This is exciting
I
news.
have to tell you. So I checked I was like, I hadn't checked our email in a while, actually, I guess because I was just tired of being disappointed. But I did check it the other day and we had 2 emails and I was literally so excited. I was laying in bed and Dante was like sitting there and I was like, we got fan mail. And he looked over at me. He was like, what? I was like, look, we got fan mail. And he was like, oh my gosh, bless your heart. But I was super excited.
I know you
about
immediately text me. I was asleep.
I was really happy. So I'm going to go ahead and get into these and share these emails with y'all. I already let both of them know that I was going to be sharing too. Because if you want to send an email and you don't want it to be read, that's totally fine.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I like being able to share them though. So yeah, I'm doing this. So the first one is from Hector. And he said, hello, I've been listening to you all since the beginning of Big Al for Miss Zeta. I enjoy all the random topics, aka the rabbit holes. It's raw and that's what I'm about. Shoot the shit straight. It doesn't mean people like us are always right, but we'll eventually level up because we thrive to be better. Although you may be ladies, we are humans and relatable. Keep up the good job. P.S. I grew up in Maypearl as a kid, and I still have family there. My mother's family lived as sharecroppers in Itasca in the 50s and 60s until everyone moved to Dallas. I'm a Dallasite born. Went to Lakeview Centennial High School in Garland around the same time as Zeta. Was there in her short period in Garland. I'm 47, Latin male. I too listen for the Rick stories. He's my boy and we'd get along, but we hate talking to people. LOL. And he said, thank you.
Aw.
And he
That's a great one.
He gave us his contact information and I emailed him and told him thank you for the email. And I let him know that if he was ever interested in being on to answer a few questions, that we love getting our male perspectives in there. And so I'm waiting to hear back from him.
You know, it's extra cool as a guy.
I know. I was so excited.
I'm sorry for the menopause story you just had to go through. That was like half the podcast. I apologize.
Hey, we gave him a warning.
I warned you.
You got a warning. Okay, our next one is from Kimberly. And she says, good morning. Oh, wait, that was her response to me. Hold on. Let's get to the first one. Ooh, come on. Okay. Says, technical difficulties.
You can do it.
Hello, ladies. Since Kelly's always says no one sends an email, here I am. I just finished listening to this week's episode, and I just want to say every time Zeta said the word coochie when talking about the snake, I turned into a teenage boy and could not stop giggling. That being said, however, I totally agree. There's absolutely no way I would ever use the bathroom again. I don't know if y'all remember the Porky's movie from back in the day.
I do.
In one of them, the gym teacher is sitting on the toilet and the snake comes up through her legs and she just goes running from the bathroom with her pants around her ankles. That is the first thing that popped into my head. LOL. I work at a credit union and the buildings back up to a wooded area. We have had a handful of snakes slithering around the property in the past few months. There was one in front of the front door that a little boy almost picked up because he thought it was a toy. Kelly, I just want to let you know that I think that you are an amazing person. I thoroughly enjoyed the poem that you shared with us a couple of episodes back. If you're comfortable doing so, it would be nice if you could share more. I'm friends with Zeta on Facebook, but I do not have Instagram, so I'm not able to follow you. I listened to Big Al's podcast, and you were on a few episodes. I always thought, I bet this girl has some pretty badass stories to tell. When I found out the two of you had a podcast, I was excited to get to hear more of your personality and learn more about you. Thank you both for being so open and honest and sharing your lives with us once or twice a week. I enjoy hearing the stories about Rick, Dante, Zeta's mom, the guests that are on from time to time, and the melting pot of all the other things y'all discuss. Wishing both a wonderful summer as always. I can't wait till the next episode. Aww. So I also messaged her and thanked her for her email and let her know that I'd be reading her email and that I'd love to give her a call sometime if she'd like to be on. And she said that she would love to. So
I love when they, give I get little messages. I think she's messaged me before. I'm almost positive. When people message and they're like, they bring up certain conversations from many episodes ago. I'm like, damn, you remember me better than I remember.
You got some good memory, girl.
I understand though, because I remember really random things when I'm interested in something someone's saying, but I can't always remember what I say because I talk so much. So it always makes me feel good. I'm like, I'm really glad someone's getting something from me. Even if it's just a laugh at the word coochie.
I know.
Coochie, coochie, coochie. I know you don't remember her, but there was a lady in the 70s and the 80s that used to be on Love Boat all the time. Charo. Do you remember Charo?
No, I never watched Love Boat.
Okay, Gen X people know. So Charo was like a Spanish. She was all over. She was on before reality shows. There were all these shows like Fantasy Island and Love Boat, and all these famous people would do guest appearances on these shows. And she was like, I don't know what she was famous for other than guest appearances. She was on all these damn shows, and she was really like over the top. She had really big hair. She was really exaggerated Spanish lady, big lips, big boobs, big ass, kind of Selena, kind of beautiful. And she would come in and her thing was coochie, coochie, coochie. And she would like dance, like a salsa little dance. And she was hot and sexy, but I always think of that. Coochie, coochie,
That's
coochie.
so funny.
So Charo is my spirit animal.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I'll look it up if you don't know who she is. She's pretty freaking funny.
I also shared a few things on my Instagram, like our podcast for this month. And also I have a little scan thing that sends you to our Apple podcast.
What are they called?
thing.
We always forget what those things are called.
I know that there's a word for them. But
I always forget too. Little things barcode thing you scan for like a menu.
Yeah.
We're old.
That thing.
I know those little squares.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah.
So I had somebody comment on one of my posts, and it is let me get to it. It's Christy Johnson, and she commented, I wish y'all would do like 2 1.5 hour episodes per week.
We'd have to be more exciting. Right now we're housewives, basically.
I bet we could, but oh my gosh, that would be rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. And yeah, I don't know.
You would hear stories about when I was in second grade. That's what would be going on. I'll tell them. I don't know.
I'll tell them too. I have a couple of interesting ones we might get into.
Yeah.
So
never say never.
Yeah, I don't
Honestly, if I didn't work, we probably would.
Right.
But I'm just too busy with all of this. But
we really try to get as much episodes and content as we can. But
like Al's our 1 hour episodes. He's made it clear.
I know he wants us to leave y'all wanting more.
But I feel like we already do.
Yeah. I'm like, you can leave people wanting more no matter how much you talk.
Yeah, I do believe he's the expert, but I think we do. I think they want more. Maybe not. Not all. Some of them are like, fuck these bitches.
Shut the fuck up.
I know. But thank y'all for the emails. You made Kelly so happy.
I really was.
And me too. And those are great emails.
Yeah. They were like super. I was like, thank you so much for the time that you took out of your day to write this email. Because it really excited me. Yeah. Like, it's the little things for me, I guess. And I think it's because I love writing notes.
Yeah.
I write notes to Dante, and really that's the way that I can really communicate some of my like actual deep feelings. Yeah. It's hard for me to do it face to face and talking to people. So really I like to write it down. I feel a connection that way.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why I like emails, because it's like writing a note.
My mom was that way about letters. Yeah. I've told you before, some were not so nice. But thank you cards. And since Aileen's graduation, we haven't finished her thank you cards because she has been out of town, basically. She went from her vacation with her dad home and then to church camp. So last night I was like, you're sending out thank you cards this week. This has got to happen. My mom is literally haunting me right now. She's like following me in her house, whispering in my ear, you better get her to do some thank you cards.
Right.
I was like, so we're working on that.
That's good. That's good.
Look, the construction sounds are starting next door. So if y'all, A, the AC's broken in here. B, they're doing construction next door. Since the AC's broken, the door's open. Mm-hmm. So
lots of fun.
Yeah. So we're going to go to the next subject so we can try and get a little bit more before we have to go because we now have construction going on. Yeah. So we'll talk about your dream poem. She wanted to hear a dream poem.
She did ask me if I would read another one, and I totally will. This one is, so I thought I would take y'all back a little bit because I have had very vivid dreams, and I have been doing poetry since a a very, very young age. As young as I can even remember, I was writing poems and stuff like that. So this dream poem is one, I went into the archives for this. I have a little chest that stays locked that has some of the inserts that I have saved. Most of the time I burn all of my stuff. After a certain amount of time, I think I purge and I burn things. But before I burn an entire book, I will go through and pull out anything that really speaks to me that I want to keep. So I went into my little chest and I was looking for, something that, and this is one of my oldest ones that I can remember now. And I have to date this. I was probably around the age of 7 to 10, because this is a poem that I actually sang. I turned it into a song and I sang it in church. And it was right after I got saved. And I got saved when I was 7. So I think that it was around this time that I had a dream. This came out of a dream too. I was singing it in the dream and it got stuck in my head. And so when I woke up, I was still singing it. And so I wrote it down. Yeah. So that's the backstory to this poem. So I'm going to pick it up real quick. All right. So this poem is called Run Away. And this is how it goes. It says, "The silence whispers in my ear. A thrilling chill rolls down my back. I sit alone here on the floor. Your loving presence is what I lack. And I want to run away, so far away. I want to leave my fears behind. I can't take this loneliness. I need you here with me again. So as I sit here and I weep like I've done so many times before, and all my security comes crashing down as teardrops fall upon the floor. And I want to run away, so far away. I want to leave my fears behind. I can't take this loneliness. I need you here with me again. I say a silent prayer and I close my eyes, and all my fears just slip away. I open up my eyes to a blinding light. You have made me a brand new day. And I want to run to you, just run to you, and I will leave all my fears behind. I don't have this loneliness when you are here by my side."
Very nice.
Oh, thanks.
I like it. I'm so not creative. I can't sing.
That was Little Kelly too.
I know. That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was picturing Little Kelly.
That was Little Kelly.
The little pigtails or braids writing her little story. Mm-hmm. I don't ever write poems because I don't have talent. But I don't remember dreams either. And we talked about not remember dreams. Mm-hmm. And lately I've had 2 dreams I've remembered since the last one we talked about.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe it's all the health issues. I don't know. So I dreamed about my mom the other day. And I had a dream I was having a party at my house. And I guess because we had just had that graduation party. Yeah. But my house was not my house. It didn't look like my house. And it was on a sound, kind of like if you've ever been to Seattle, part of the city is on a sound is what they call it, which is I guess that's what they call it. But it's like a bay. It overlooks the ocean. Yeah. But, and so it's beautiful. It's really cool. And there's houses built on sides of cliff looking things. Wow. So this house is one of these cool, and it's it's mid-century modern, and just the side of the house that's overlooking the water is just all windows. It's just a badass house. And it's I don't know how to explain. It's just a badass mid-century modern house. But my stuff's in it, and it's my house. And I'm having this little get together, and my mom shows up. And it's now this party's happening in this day and age. And my mom shows up, and my mom looks like she doesn't look like she did sick. It's I never got to see my mom age. She was 61 when she died, and she had cancer, numerous cancers, and she had other health problems for the 15 years prior to her death. So she looked like she had been sick the last 10 years. Yeah. And so I never got to see what she looked like as a healthy older woman, And so when I was dreaming the other day, she looked like I think she would have looked as a healthy older woman. She'd be, 70 now, 70, a little over 70. And she looked like she probably should have looked. Yeah. And kind of like her sister looks. Both her sisters, but one she looks more like. And in my dreams, when I dream about my mom, unfortunately, I always know she's dead in my dream. Yeah. So I always know she shouldn't be there. And I'm just and in my dream, I know I'm dreaming, and I know she's dead.
So you're like, what the heck?
But no, I'm cool, let's visit while you're here. Okay. Yeah, in my dream, I'm I want to stay in this dream. Yeah. And I will wake up, and I'll make myself go back to sleep so I can get back into the dream. So that was going on. So in the party, my mom's like walking around the house and telling me that she likes what I did with her stuff.
That's cool.
And she's like commenting on like my decor and how I incorporated her stuff and like some of her mom's stuff and, you know. And so I'm just like, all right, you know. So we end up visiting the whole time. And in my dream, I know she's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, where's Zol? I wanted my brother's.
You didn't bring Zol? Apparently he wasn't invited.
And so I'm like, and so I woke up and I thought, I got to go back to sleep. But this time I need Zol to be there. I wanted Zol to be there. He didn't come. Oh, fucker.
Oh, wow.
So I went back to sleep and I enjoyed the time with my mom. And then I woke up. I was like, that was awesome. Like I could hear her voice. I could see her mannerisms.
That's
it was,
cool.
yeah, it was awesome. So then I was like, and so I woke up, I told Rick, I was like, okay, this was my dream. And I put it on Facebook because I was like, I don't want to forget this dream.
That's
like,
so
this was a cool dream.
That's good.
And I don't want to forget it. Mm-hmm. And so then, like, maybe 3 nights later, I have another dream that I remember. And this one you're in.
Yes.
Yes, you made the dream. And I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I end up coming to downtown Waxahachie. And I think I'm going to Al's. But I get in, and where Al's is located is on one end of the town square, and on the opposite, literally, if you just walk straight from one catty corner side to the other, there's a Rogers Hotel, and then right across the street from the Rogers Hotel is my daughter's dance studio and a store. The dance studio is above the store. These are all like 200-year-old buildings. Mm-hmm. And in that was a bar. And it's a bar I've been to before, but not here. Not in the last 20 years. Like, I don't know where I've been to this bar before, but I did I don't think I just made up the bar.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an Irish-ish themed bar. And I go in there, like, this isn't Al's. Like, somehow I forgot how to get to Al's. And I'm like, this isn't Al's. This is weird. And I walk in.
How'd I get here?
Yeah. And an old coworker of mine is working behind the bar. Now, I did not care for this coworker. She was like the henchman of the lady I talked about that I basically changed careers because she made my life living hell. She was like her little henchman. And I didn't care for her. And she didn't care for me either. And so she was working behind the bar. And I have heard since I stopped working there that she married somebody with a lot of money and kind of became a housewife and had a lot of money and then divorced and kind of had to start over. I don't know who told me that, when they told me that. I don't know why they told me that. Like, it wasn't an important conversation.
Yeah.
So in my dream, I was like, and it wasn't anytime recent. And I was like, oh, she's having to work behind the bar now, man. That sucks because she has kids. So in my dream, I actually feel kind of bad for her, you know.
Yeah.
But then she like walks up to me and it's like straight up bitch. Like, I don't remember what she said, but she's being a straight up bitch, you know. And
like, don't feel bad for you anymore.
Well, you know me, I'm mouthy. And I'm like, fuck you, fucking bitch, you know. So I'm going off on her in my dream. And she's like, kind of going crazy, like kind of acting crazy. And we didn't get into a physical altercation, but I left and I was like, I didn't even mean to come in here, you know?
Yeah.
But I'd already ordered food to go. I don't know why. I don't remember ordering the food, but I did. So they give it to me. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to take this over to Al's. So I leave it and I go to walk down the street and I come across another bar. I also recognize, again, can't tell you where this bar is. I don't know. Go in that bar. I don't know why I went in that bar.
You're just bar hopping.
I am. There's like it's the middle of the day too. There's like nobody else in the bar. So I go in there. It's not the middle of the day. It's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So this bar is really long and narrow. They both are. And I go to the very back and there's like a pool table room and I'm holding my food and I'm like, oh, I thought there might be tables back here. And then I hear you at the front of the bar. I don't see you, but I can hear you. And I was like, that is Kelly. So I walk up there and there you and Marilee are. And y'all are dressed to the nines, which is not unusual for you. But I'm talking, you had on like this amazing black lace dress. It looked like you had just come from a really fancy funeral, okay? But like a really beautiful farm-fitted black lace dress and these fucking badass shoes, and you're just looking amazing. And Marilee is dressed to the nines as well. Like y'all went to the same party, as I always put it.
Yep.
And y'all are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's a long story. Do y'all want this food? And you're like, yes, I do.
Give it to me.
So y'all take the food. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm just going over to Al's. And so you're like, oh, okay, we'll come meet you over there in a minute. I was like, all right. And I leave. And that was my dream. Is that not the stupidest dream? I don't remember dreams ever. And that's what I remember.
That's what you remember. Random bar
I haven't
hopping.
thought about that girl in years. I don't give a shit about it. She did show up. I take that back. She did show up a few weeks ago on People You May Know. So I was like, bitch is probably looking at my profile,
right?
On Facebook. But I mean, that's fine. She can look. I hope she's listening.
Well, I wish that you really had that food in real life right now because I'm starving.
Well, we're about to wrap this up. I'm going to tell the story because it was funny right before we started recording. I showed Kelly on Facebook this picture of this pizza that I also posted. of this pizza in Venus, Texas, which is a tiny town. Okay, it's a tiny town. I work in Venus.
How far is Venus from here? Because I literally want to go there.
It'd take you about 25 minutes to get there. And it's a deep dish Chicago style pizza, and the thing looks fucking stupid amazing. Like, I shared it, and like 20 people on my friend list have shared it now, and they're all like, we're going.
Yeah.
And so, and I stole it from someone else that shared it local. And I was like, I need this pizza in my life. And so I show it to Kelly, and she was, what did you say?
I said, I want to motorboat that pizza. I was like, I want to stick my face just right in the middle of it and just motorboat it. I'm so hungry.
So we have to tie this up so Kelly can eat. And I'm going to have to go home and feed my man. He's probably hungry. It's
and
later
they're
than
getting
I thought.
kind of heavy duty next door, too. So
And it's hot.
Yeah. All of these things.
Yeah. So y'all have a happy July 4th.
Yes. We love you guys. We'll see y'all not next week, but
the week after that.
Yeah.
And hopefully I don't have another side problem.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Abdominal problem. All right. Well, happy July 4th, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. If you want to find us on social media,
Yes.
I'm Zeta Owens on Facebook. I'm Z Mama Sita on Instagram, and Kelly is.
I am Kelly Lady Pearl on Instagram. And if you would like to email us, our email is twosidesandthetruthpodcast@outlook.com. And remember, there are always 3 sides to every story. 2 sides and the truth.